What's up and welcome back to the videos. So as you guys can judge by the title of this video, we are busy working on Zane's 2013 KTM 250 XCW. So what happened was he started running into some clutch drag issues, and when we pulled the bike apart, we saw that the tangs on the clutch basket were pretty badly notched. So I'm going to show you guys in a minute how you can kind of DIY yourself into getting some extra life out of your clutch basket. But yeah, the main point of this video is going to be making this bike nice and shiny again. So Zane got brand new plastics and a brand new fresh looking graphics kit from Robert Co Branding, but his bike is like all oxidized and crusty. So as soon as we have the clutch basket issue resolved, we're going to pull the whole bike apart and go through it, clean it, grease all the bearings, and make it look nice before we throw on the fresh plastics. You guys can kind of see that the tangs are notched. This is pretty normal for any dirt bike. So the wear is not, if I can get the camera to focus over here. So the wear is not too excessive, but yeah, those little notches over there make the clutch drag like crazy. What we're doing is we're taking a couple of different sandpaper grits. We're running from 120 grit, 150, 220, 400 and 800 to basically knock down those notches on the tangs. What I did was I just taped up a engineer's file, and I basically fold the little piece of sandpaper over there, match up the tangs, and then you just slowly sand and sand and sand until the notches are gone. If I can get it to focus. As you can see, some of them are nice and polished. So it's a very minimal amount that we are taking off. Now obviously this is not the best way to do it. There's actually no real good way to do it because you're not supposed to do it. You can take it to an engineering shop and they can mill it down with a lathe or CNC machine, but there'll still be vibration on the tangs and it'll still not be precise. So I just kind of sneak up on it very slowly with the sandpaper, and I pretty much take off the same amount on each tang. Like I said, not the best way to do it, but when you look at how much a brand new clutch basket costs in South Africa, it's 6,000 Rand. This is a pretty decent temporary solution to get some more life out of your clutch basket, and it's a couple of thousands that you're taking off, so it should not cause any serious issues as long as you take down the same amount of material on each tang. So yeah, I'm going to throw you guys onto time lapse and then we'll get to sanding. All right, so after a couple of days of sanding, we finally got the clutch basket done. Now unfortunately I had the GoPro on time-lapse photo instead of time-lapse video, so in the low light settings, or in the low light setting in the garage, all the photos are blurred, but I do have one before photo that I took for Instagram. But as you guys can see, all of the notches on the clutch basket are gone. The clutch basket still needs to be properly cleaned before we throw it back in the bike, but now we are going to jump into the next portion, which is cleaning the bike. Now I have already started cleaning the swing arm a little bit. So I cleaned a portion of the swing arm, the rear wheel, and a little sample piece on the triple clamp, just to kind of see what amount of effort I want to put in to get the desired result. So what I came to is with the amount of time and effort that I want to put in, we can get the bike to about like 60%, where 100% would be getting everything vapor honed. We are going to be pulling off the swing arm, the rear shock, and we need to seal up the motor temporarily because we're going to pull the engines, give the engine a scrub down as well. The swing arm is going to be easier to clean, and we're pulling it off because we need to re-grease the bearings anyways. We need to pull the radiators off because, as you can see, one is black and one is silver. So we need to clean up the silver one and give that a lick of paint. You guys can see over there that Zane's exhaust mount broke off, this one right here. So while the motor is out, we need to take the time to grind that off and fabricate a new one that will get welded on tomorrow. And yeah, give the motor a scrub down, give the radiator braces a scrub down, pull the triple clamps. So I already did a little sample piece on the triple clamps. And then obviously the wheel, I mean, it looks silver, but if you take a little bit of a closer look, you can see the aluminium's like faded and oxidized. We did a fairly decent job on the rear wheel, getting the hub and everything cleaned. We also pulled the sprocket and the disc off to kind of get ease of access to the hub, and then we threw everything back on, put Loctite and torqued it down to spec. This time around I made sure the GoPro is on all the correct settings, so yeah, we'll jump into time lapse of me tearing the bike apart and starting the cleaning process. Alrighty, so we have made another mess. So usually I tackle a portion and then I'll either clean and reassemble, or I will bag and tag and store the stuff away and clean all the work surfaces, and then we carry on. But yeah, anyways, as you can see, this is the unclean side of the swing arm, and this is the side that I just started cleaning a little bit. So a lot of potential. Now I'm kind of contemplating and reassessing whether I want to pull the engine, but I think that's going to be the best way to go, especially seeing as we need to grind on this little piece to get it off, so we can fabricate a new mount. And you know, in all the nooks and crannies of the frame, it is pretty dirty. You guys obviously saw me throw on the side cover and the clutch cover. So the side cover is going back on permanently, the water pump and the power valve. The clutch cover is obviously temporary because we need to throw the clutch pack back in. But yeah, the side cover and everything is done, and we cleaned that off the bike. So okay, this clutch cover is pretty torn up, like the protective cover that goes on here actually started pitting and digging into the clutch cover. So that's as clean as I could get it, but obviously you can see the contrast between the inner cover and the rest of the engine, how dirty it is. So the idea is, and this was like minimal cleaning with a scrunch pad, so the idea is to get the rest of the motor to this level. I think it's going to be simpler to pull the motor because cleaning it inside of the frame, obviously getting into all of these little nooks and crannies, it's going to be impossible. Just check how dirty it is. So this is why you need to use a good degreaser and properly clean your dirt bike after every ride, Zane. I think in this case, the little bit of extra work is going to make the cleaning process simpler. You know, sometimes more work is less work, and then the time lapse just stopped. I actually forgot the camera on. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm going to pull the motor and get cleaning. Okay, the moment has come. It's time for the motor to come out. And there we go. One very crusty KTM 250 XCW motor. Got the caliper carrier and caliper clean. I did block off the inlet for the caliper with some press stick. We'll take that out and we'll re-bleed the brakes. My hands are dirty, so I'm not going to touch the swing arm, but the swing arm is nice and clean. And obviously, as you guys just saw, we pulled the motor. Yeah, some would say, oh geez, what have you done? That's intimidating. But if you are aspiring to become a mechanic, or if you want to hone your mechanical skills, dirt bikes are so super simple and easy to work on, and they go together and come apart fairly quickly. So here's some of the stuff. It looks like chaos, but I know where every bolt goes. I have done this before, so yeah, unfortunately. We're going to clean up the braces, clean up this radiator, make it black. I was busy just playing around and cleaning the gear lever. We got the kickstart clean. Fairly simple to do, not too much effort. If you are a guy that went through puberty as a teenager, you should be well experienced in stroking. So yeah, a couple of strokes, got that clean. Now the next thing to clean is this freaking boat anchor. Well, it's not really a boat anchor because it's pretty much a fresh bottom end and a fresh top end, but yeah, it looks like a boat anchor. So we're going to clean that little cover, and yeah, then we'll start throwing stuff together again. Wouldn't say it's not a lot of effort. It's fairly time consuming, but it's not hard work. But yeah, we've got the motor done. I did seal off all of the intake and exhaust holes, and where the coolant runs through. Don't want to get any detergent or chemicals in there. And yeah, it's not perfect, but it's a million times better than what it was. And yeah, it should go nicely with the clean swing arm and all the other accent parts with the new graphics kit. So yeah, now I need to clean up this freaking mess I made, because it's making me a bit anxious. And we'll clean up the nuts and bolts and stuff, and then I think I'm not gonna film the reassembly. What I'm gonna do is some good old YouTube magic. Give it a good snapperoo. All right, check it out. So I did a little bit more work off camera. I threw the subframe back on, cleaned it up and threw it back on, and I also cleaned up the silencer. It was painted black. It's not perfect. It's got some pitting on it, but yeah, it looks pretty sick with the clean wheel, the clean swing arm, the clean brake assembly, and the clean motor, of course. I've got the Kickstarter on there as well, because the next thing that we're going to be doing is taking the bike to Claude's place, where we're going to fit up the expansion chamber. He was kind enough to weld up a hole in the expansion chamber and blow it out. He's got all the tools to do that job, so we got to fit it up. And then obviously, or not obviously, but as you guys can see, I've got the old exhaust hanger, let's call it exhaust hanger or mount, grinded off, and we got it ground nice and flat there because I cut a new tab. It seems like they break off fairly easily on the older KTMs. The one on my pile of junk that's lying there is also broken off. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for this episode. I think we're gonna do a two-parter. I would have loved to get everything done in 1 week, but yeah, I've got a 9 to 5 and we've got the family at home, so time is limited, even though I did spend a crap ton of time to get to this point. But we'll bring you guys along for the second part as well when we go through to Claude's place. Yeah, so make sure you guys hit subscribe with notifications turned on, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a comment down below, and yeah, hit that like button. But yeah, I think the bike is coming along very nicely, and yeah, just check it out. It's gonna look freaking sick with the new graphics. Design's got the orange plastics and blacked out graphics, all of the little accents, and all the clean aluminum is going to contrast nicely with the black graphics kit. Yeah, so that's it. I'll have to take a nice thumbnail outside in the sun tomorrow, but yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. Peace out and keep ripping.